At 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We begin tonight on the forecast. Today was a welcome cool down, and now all eyes are on the weekend. Thanks for joining us tonight here on the CW20. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. The heat and humidity did leave us today, staying cooler tomorrow. I don't want to say cool because
it's not cool.
We're not quite there yet. And through the rest of the work week, we got one more day.
Let's send things straight over to Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank. The other question, Rach, is there rain on the way for the weekend?
Yes, we do have some rain on the way for the weekend, and it looks like the timing for that has been pushed back to mostly Saturday night into early Sunday, but we're going to talk more about that as we head through the next half an hour or so. I did want to also mention that we do have one more comfy day with low humidity tomorrow before it starts to come back in again heading into this Labor Day weekend. Another thing I wanted to mention, look at the showers to the west of us, to the northwest, to the southwest. Some of those might be able to hold together overnight with the chance for a passing shower, and there could be a shower in spots first thing tomorrow morning. Other than that, though, it should be a fine day. Temperatures right now are in the 60s to right around 70 degrees, and as we head through the overnight hours, we'll see temperatures bottom out in the 50s to near 60 degrees. So it's going to be a really nice night to keep the windows open, air out the home, especially after yesterday's heat. So at the bus stop tomorrow, there might be a brief passing shower, temperatures beginning in the 50s. We should be brighter, though, especially later in the day. High temperatures in the 70s, just like they were today. And it's a dry start to Labor Day weekend. And it's a dry finish for Labor Day itself. But in between, we got to talk about the timing of some rain, and we'll take a look at the newest information coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. A serious crash is under investigation in Suffield tonight. Police tell us a pickup truck driver rear-ended a motorcycle, leaving two people badly hurt. It happened around 5:10 p.m. on South Main Street in the area of Kent Avenue. The operator and a passenger riding on the motorcycle were taken to the hospital with serious injuries, and we're waiting for an update on their conditions now. The truck driver was not injured and stayed on scene and is cooperating with police.
We're getting an update now from Bristol Police. A standoff between officers and a barricaded suspect has ended peacefully. Officers tell Fox 61 they were called to a home on Wooding Street around 4:30 this afternoon. It's unclear who called them and why they called. Police arrived and found someone was barricaded inside, so they called in a tactical team. They arrested the suspect about an hour later. While police are still on scene investigating tonight, they're asking people to avoid the area if possible.
Well, the State Department of Environmental Protection is taking precautions against mosquito-borne illnesses in the eastern part of Connecticut.
Yeah, tonight crews were out spraying for mosquitoes in an effort to prevent human cases of mosquito-borne illnesses like West Nile virus and Eastern equine encephalitis, more commonly called Triple E.
Fox 61's Kaylee Collins has that story.
It's a bad year.
State environmental officials are working to mitigate an elevated mosquito population this summer.
Again, with all the rain we've been having and the warm temperatures, we have abundance of mosquitoes this year.
As a precaution, DEEP conducted an insecticide spray on Thursday evening at Patchogue State Forest in Voluntown, an area of eastern Connecticut where mosquitoes carrying Triple E, Eastern equine encephalitis, have been detected.
The products that we use are synthetic pyrethroids, which are just like anything you can find off the shelf.
While no human cases of Triple E have been detected this year in Connecticut, there has been one human case of West Nile virus. And though contracting Triple E is rare, it's more dangerous.
30 to 40% of people who actually contract Triple E die from it, and those who survive can have some lifelong brain damage.
DEEP is working to prevent that from even becoming a possibility.
That what we're doing tonight will hopefully knock down some of the adult population here, but that does not eliminate the need for individuals to take personal protective measures.
Now, there are some steps you can take at home to protect yourself against mosquito-borne illnesses. That includes avoiding being outside when mosquito activity is at its peak. That's typically dusk and dawn. You're also going to want to make sure that you cover yourself up with some long sleeves and, of course, keep that bug spray ready and handy.
That's just what families in the Voluntown area have been doing all summer long.
It's a bug jacket and it keeps the bugs off of me.
We usually just take like
extra precautions with spray, even the little round bands there that keep the bugs away. They usually throw them on their ankles sometimes.
All in an effort to
shoot mosquitoes!
Mosquitoes typically remain active until the first hard freeze. Reporting in Voluntown, Kaylee Collins, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Kaylee. I'm not going to miss those guys. Well, a New Haven man's been indicted on gun charges. Police say he was the owner of a gun used in a shooting last November. While police aren't accusing him of pulling the trigger, they say the gun had a Glock switch, and he's prohibited from owning firearms since he was previously convicted of manslaughter. A Glock switch essentially turns a handgun into a machine pistol, and they're illegal. Police say 30-year-old Brandon Harper owned a Glock pistol between November 2nd and 16th. The shooting was on the 12th. Harper has been detained since March on other charges.
Also in New Haven, a 20-year-old man has been arrested, accused of breaking into a person's apartment and threatening them with a knife. Jaquan Moyi reportedly knew the victim. Police say he broke in after a fight. They went to Moyi's home on Winchester Avenue to speak with them. He wasn't home, but officers tried speaking with another person that lived in his apartment, and that's when they say that person let loose a large pit bull, which then ran toward the police. The an officer shot at the dog. It was grazed by a bullet. It's expected to be fine. Moyi eventually surrendered to police later today, and he is being charged with home invasion and second-degree threatening. We have an update now on efforts to repair and reopen roads washed out by catastrophic flooding in the Naugatuck Valley. Governor Ned Lamont sharing these photos tonight of Kettletown Road from Stonegate Drive to Burr Road. The left picture is the damage from 10 days after the flooding. The image on the right was snapped just a few hours ago. Crews have been working around the clock getting roads back online.
And some unusual traffic in the capital city today. Many people were surprised to see several homes being transported on the roads. All four now sit on a different street. Fox 61's Alexa Farrell's in Hartford's Frog Hollow neighborhood with more on the move and why some people were against it.
4 historic homes were relocated within the Frog Hollow community Thursday. 2 of the homes over a century old.
Houses, they are historical, full of rich history being preserved, while at the same time making room for growth in the city of Hartford.
People stood around and watched as the homes were uprooted and relocated.
They have never seen anything like that in Hartford, and they were thrilled to be able to share this with their families.
The 4 houses are being moved to make room for a new parking garage for the Connecticut Children's Medical Center. Laws worked with Connecticut Children's and the city to make the move.
The ultimate decision to not tear down houses, but to preserve them, to relocate them, and keep them in the community, I think was a very wise decision.
The CEO of Connecticut Children's spoke today about how the garage is a win-win, as the housing was preserved, and the new garage will provide an economic boost with 3,000 square feet of retail and restaurant space.
This is an opportunity for us to be a good community partner, a good neighbor, and support the Frog Hollow community.
Here on Putnam Street is the final destination for these 2 historic homes here in Hartford. This one was actually split in half as it was brought over here. You can see that split through the middle. While there was a lot of excitement to see these homes move, not everyone was behind this plan.
I think it is important to preserve housing. I think it's important to invest in historic preservation. But to those who view this as an unmitigated win, I am not in your column.
The Hartford mayor says he originally thought the plan was a great idea.
There's a human impact to this, and there's also a large monetary impact to this move.
But with turning off electricity, traffic problems, and the price tag, he decided there was a better way to benefit the neighborhood. He said he would have preferred the $3 million go into a home ownership investment fund for the community.
I think that we could have done better for our residents, and moving forward, this administration, you should expect from us, will put the residents of the city of Hartford first.
The homes are now located on Putnam Street, Lawrence Street, and Hungerford Street. The lot on Lincoln Street is now empty, awaiting the parking garage. In Hartford, Alexa Farrell, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Well, it's the first day back for Berlin public schools, and students are adjusting to a major policy change. Cell phones are banned in classrooms. Each period, students have to put their phones in a big box before class begins. The goal is to avoid distractions. Governor Ned Lamont and Education Commissioner Charlene Russell Tucker were at Berlin High School today asking students about the changes. Some say they didn't mind, others say they felt restricted. But Lamont's pressing on, saying success in Berlin could mean new marching orders for other districts.
This is local education here in the state. So every superintendent's going to do their own thing. But I think you're finding that most of the schools are following the lead of the Berlin Redcoats, more in the elementary K through 8, maybe a little less restrictive in the high schools.
Last week, the State Board of Education issued a guidance recommending schools create policies that keep phones out of classrooms. The board wants them banned outright for elementary school students. Governor Lamont says they'll monitor how the policy impacts learning.